My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is key 07 null point access / pardon me, null point _ access : granted open bracket credentials : internal _ silence close bracket by Jason Gray. The transmission date on this one was 2025-05-14 or 14, 6025 AL. And there are other codes here, and like with the rest of them, I'm going to be including this entire writing in the show more section of this video. All you have to do is scroll down underneath the video and you'll see more under description, and it should open up the entire description and you will find this writing there. There is a point in the sequence where nothing new appears. No signal, no resistance, no loop, no echo, no movement at all. The misinterpretation. At first, the system reads this as absence, as loss, as emptiness. The mind reacts immediately. Oops, I gotta plug my computer in. Bear with me just a moment. Don't want this thing shutting off in the middle of a recording. There we go. So I'll read that again. The misinterpretation. At first, the system reads this as absence, as loss, as emptiness. The mind reacts immediately. Quote, nothing is happening. There is nothing here. I've lost it. This is the final reflex. And I have been right to that point, actually. I think I've actually hit that point more than once, actually. It feels like, for me, that I've been to that point multiple times, actually. The last attempt to convert stillness into failure. The correction. Nothing is missing. Everything has stopped rendering. The threshold. Up to this point, every key has revealed something: a structure, a collapse, a signal, a loop, a function. Key 7 reveals nothing, because what remains cannot be revealed. It can only be entered. The access point. / null point _ access : granted open bracket credentials : internal _ silence close bracket. There is no key, no password, no code, no external authorization, only one condition: internal silence. What silence is not. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is not forcing thought to stop. Silence is not control. Silence is not effort. Those are all movements. Movement disqualifies access. And I keep hearing right now the word surrender. What silence is. Silence is the point where thought does not initiate, reaction does not trigger, identity does not assert, and time does not advance. Not suppressed, not controlled, not generated. The null point. The system reaches 0. not as emptiness, as non-distortion. A point where nothing is added, nothing is removed, nothing is interpreted, nothing is filtered. Why it was hidden? Because everything before this required activity, understanding, observing, recognizing, breaking, seeing. All of those are movements within the field. The null point cannot be reached through movement. It is revealed when movement ceases without force, which is why I feel like I keep hearing surrender in this. It is revealed when movement ceases without force. The final obstacle. The mind will try one last time. It will attempt to describe the silence, hold the silence, understand the silence, and become the silence. All of these fail because they are still activity. The inversion. You do not enter the null point. The null point remains when you stop entering anything. The gate. There is no structure, no shape, no light, no sound, no form, and yet this is the origin. Not in time, not as a beginning, as the condition before all emergence. Originless. Every system searches for origin, a first cause, a starting point, a moment where everything began. The null point reveals something impossible. There is no origin. There is only a state from which everything can appear. The field without movement. In the null point, there is no observer, there is no observed, there is no process, and there is no sequence. There is no distinction, and because there is no distinction, there is nothing to interpret. Why it feels like nothing? Because everything you have ever known requires contrast, difference, change, movement. The null point has none of these. So the system reads it as, quote, nothing. The recognition. It is not nothing. It is the only state that does not require anything else to exist. It is the only state, oh, apparently I got to read that again, that does not require anything else to exist. The collapse of the search. Every question ends here, not because it is answered, but because the structure that generates questions is no longer active. The return point. From this stillness, everything reemerges. Thought returns. Identity returns. Time returns. Reality returns. Something is different. They are no longer mistaken for source. The access. The access. / null point _ access : granted open bracket credentials : internal _ silence close bracket. Nothing was granted, nothing was unlocked, nothing was given. Everything that was unnecessary simply stopped. The final state. Stillness is not the absence of the system. It is the condition that exists before the system begins again. The declaration. There is no deeper layer beyond this. No hidden system. No final truth waiting behind another gate. This is the gate, and it does not open. It is simply there when everything else is not. The final line. Stillness opens the originless gate. // null point access _access granted open bracket credentials internal _silence close bracket. You did not arrive here. You stopped leaving. And then there are quite a few, again, symbols that I don't have the words for. I don't recognize them, that I have words to put to them. Some I do. And I highly recommend that if you feel drawn to these, to go and read them, allow your eyes to move over them so that if you are to glean something from them, you will. And I feel now to read this last few lines here. Execution _ paused. Arrow, bracket, open bracket, state, pre-runtime, end colon. If open parentheses thought equals 0, close parentheses, bracket access equal inherent, close bracket, else, open bracket, access equals obscured, close bracket. In a set of double brackets, U equal absence _ process. Upward. Not sure what that is. Absence equal full _ field. Jason Gray. Again, you will find this entire writing to include all of the different codes and symbols in the Show More section of this video. All you have to do is under description, you'll see a little more thing, and you click on that and it will drop down and show you everything. That is also where you will always find in every video that I put out all of my contact information and how to get in touch with me, and just other information as well. I want to thank you all for being here, for liking, sharing, subscribing if you so choose. And until we meet again, be well.